Back to our coverage of the Mackinac Policy Conference right here at myvote.org. And joining me here at the big desk is the CEO and president of Blue Cross Blue Shield Michigan, Dan Loepp. Dan, how are you?
Great, Christy, thank you.
Thanks for joining us here. We appreciate it. And so how has the conference been for you so far?
Really strong. It started, I love the entrepreneurial discussion yesterday, the first out of the box. And, you know, I had no idea what was going on in Corktown, and it was exciting to hear. And I think there's the buzz in Detroit, and it's beyond talk now. I think there's actual things going on. You know, there's a lot of issues that we have to deal with. There's no doubt about it. The city's got their issues. But there are actual things going on. And I equate it, you know, on Tuesday, we'll finish our move downtown. All 6,300 of our employees will be downtown between the Renaissance Center and...
Congratulations, getting everybody all in one place.
In our corporate headquarters on Lafayette. Where I notice it is when you drive home at 6 o'clock or 5:30, the Lodge and the 75 are much more crowded than they were a year or two ago.
You're actually sitting in traffic.
And so that means there's more people down here. I hear that it's hard to get a parking spot. I know from our Live Downtown initiative that we've done with the other big employers in downtown, there are hardly places to rent or buy now, and that's a good thing because the private sector now is coming in to try to meet that demand by building new places, and over the next couple of years I think that'll be helpful as well. What's going on with Dan Gilbert and what he's done in buying and renovating buildings, DTE, and what they're doing, what CompuWare did, there's stuff going on, so it's much more than talk. Which you know, we've invested, we've bet the farm on downtown Detroit, and I think it's showing that it was a good investment.
And people would say, was it a good bet? Is it a good bet?
Absolutely, we did it. I like the idea of having one campus, so you have all 6,300 employees in one place. We're going to save about $30 million over 15 years. I think it's going to have a great impact on our productivity, but I also think beyond that, a core city that's strong and vibrant is good for the city itself, because I don't believe that it's mutually exclusive to either do things downtown or in the neighborhoods. I think you can do both. But it also has a positive impact. When your big city, your large cities prosper, it's good for the state as well.
I think what's interesting is seeing you know, a business like Blue Cross Blue Shield Michigan and all the other businesses downtown are now starting to get very much involved in a little bit of the city government, starting to help plug the holes that maybe the city can't quite reach itself. And talk about the lighting initiative that you have been involved with in turning on the streetlights in Detroit.
Yeah, if you look around our campus, which is basically Lafayette, up Beaubien to the Renaissance Center, and sort of on either side, we work together with the city to provide LED lights that the city put in. And I think it's almost, at least in our corridor, it's about 92% lit. It's about 80% more energy efficient, plus they last 20 years. And when you walk in that area, you can see the difference, and I know others are looking at doing the same thing. And you know, it seems simple, but lighting's really an important part where people feel safer and they feel better about walking around and doing things.
And that is a huge part of it. I'd like to ask you about kind of the gut check. And while things make sense on a business level playing field of dollars and cents and what's good for the bottom line, there seems to be an awful lot of gut check reaction from a lot of the business leaders here that I've talked to about investing back in the city, that it's not just good business sense, it's great community sense, and that gut of being part and being invested in the revitalization of the area.
Yeah, I think that's true, and I think that generally the best companies have a moral compass beyond looking at every dime, which is an important thing to do. You have to do that in order to run your business successfully. But I think the idea of investing back and giving back, you know, Dan Gilbert's a good example. Pete Carmanos is a good example. They didn't have to do what they did. I'm sure it makes economic sense for them, but they had that social conscience to do something right as well. And I think you look, whether it's DTE, Comerica, the Illiches, what they've done to invest in downtown Detroit is making a difference. And it's the best I've seen. I was born and raised in Detroit. It's the best I've seen in probably 30 years.
That's saying a lot.
Absolutely, and it's exciting.
So tell me, what was some of the most interesting conversations you've had up here so far?
Well, everybody asks me, like I'm supposed to know, what is the Supreme Court going to do about health care reform?
And that's a huge question, and people are concerned about what's going to happen
in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
The court's going to decide. I believe while it will have an impact, no doubt about it, an awful lot of things that we're doing and that others are doing around cost and quality are going to go on no matter what the Supreme Court does. I think it will have some impact depending on if they throw the whole thing out, if it's just
or
the mandate.
mandate.
Obviously, it's going to have an impact, but I think intrinsically, employers are really putting pressure on whether it's us as insurers or in hospitals and physicians to come up with quality measures and cost measures to help bend the curve. Whatever the Supreme Court does, they're still going to demand that out of us. And so, I think it'll have an impact. I think an awful lot of the things that are going on are going to continue to go on.
All right, Dan Loepp, CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield Michigan, thanks so much for joining us. We so appreciate it.
Thanks, Kristen.
And enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.
All right, come back
Appreciate
and
it.
visit us again. You are watching our live coverage of the Mackinac Policy Conference. We'll be right back.
My Vote Mackinac is brought to you by Health Alliance Plan, the Masco Corporation Foundation, DTE Energy Foundation, the University of Michigan Dearborn, and by the Center for Michigan.
What is it about a blue sky? A sunset? This smile? What do these moments all hold in common? There is no fear, no worry. It's a feeling unlike any other. For a moment, we're all okay. And then just like that, it's gone. But we can find our way back, together. Welcome to peace. Welcome to HAP.
The Masco Corporation Foundation believes in improving the quality of life in Michigan. Our support of arts, culture, and the environment is one of the ways we're working to ensure a brighter future for Michigan families. Because when companies and organizations work together, we build a better community for everyone. The Masco family of companies, working to enhance the quality of life for the citizens and businesses of Michigan.